Olanike, and myself and Bobola will work for Radiant Stone Consultants. That's a company that deals with writing for people and editing their write-ups. We have a lot of products and services, and one of our products, of course, is my green card story. We have over 80% success rate with reading cover letters and CVs for people, and we have in the tens, so almost 100 success stories that we have currently for our products. So today, again, we are focusing on our product, My Green Card Story, and our presenter is no one but Bobola. Bobola is a PhD holder. He got his bachelor's in Nigeria and came to the United States for his master's and PhD. He's like a forerunner for most of us that have applied for green card. And Bobola, of course, attended FUTA in Nigeria. So hi to all the FUTA alumni joining us today. So he would tell us how he applied for green card and started helping people to the extent that he actually started this company to writing for people and helping them through their journey, whatever you're writing for, CV, job opportunity, green card, whatever it is. So Bobola, we're so proud of you. We thank you for all the effort you put into this, I would say, side investment to people's lives. So thank you, and over to you. Your presentation is 20 minutes, so please be on time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Olanike. I doubt it if I'll be able to finish in 20 minutes because it's very detailed, but I'll try.
Yeah, because we don't want to keep people here for too long. It's a meeting, not a workshop, remember? But just try your best. I know you have a lot to share, and people are actually here for the juice. They want to know how to go through the process. But just try, okay?
Okay, I'll try it. Thank you. So the title of this talk is How to Apply for United States Green Card under the EB2-NIW. Disclaimer, I am not an immigration attorney. Feel free to contact an attorney for legal advice. The advice given in this talk is based on my personal experience and my opinion. So who is a lawful permanent resident? According to the Department of Homeland Security, lawful permanent residents, also known as green card holders, and non-citizens who are lawfully authorized to live permanently within the United States. Okay. Now, if you're a green card holder or permanent resident, you can accept employment without restriction. For example, if you're on H-1B, your H-1B is tied to your current employer. If you're an OPT, you can only work with employer that is verified, and your OPT has an expiration limit. Also, as a green card holder, you can own properties, can receive financial assistance from public colleges and universities. So if you are a permanent resident and you are currently in school, you can apply for student loan, and also instead of paying tuition as an international student, you can pay tuition as either an in-state student or an out-of-state student, which is more cheaper. Then I just discovered that you can actually join the armed forces. So that's very interesting. Classes of admission. So there are different classes of admission. The first one is immediate relative of U.S. citizens. So let's say you got married to a U.S. citizen, you can file for green card under this category. Okay. Another category is family-sponsored preference. So let's say after you become a U.S. citizen, you want to apply for your parents that may be Kenyan citizens of Nigeria can file for green card for them under the family-sponsored preference. For employment-based preference, you are basically filing based on your technical skills and expertise. And this is the category that we'll be talking about in today's presentation. Other categories include refugees and asylum, also diversity. This is the diversity visa lottery that used to be very popular in the 90s. And also there are others. So for example, people that are from Asian 80s, is it 80? They call them some Asians. That is special category for getting green card, and it falls under these others. So now let's talk about our own category, which is the employment-based category. Now there are 5 subdivisions under this category. The first one is EB1. To file under EB1, you have to be an outstanding professor, researcher, or multinational executive or manager. So I remember last year, I was having a conversation with a friend, and she was telling me that our colleague that is Indian applied for green card under EB2, and he got it within 6 months. And I told her straight away that that's not possible, because Indians and Chinese, they have a delay time of 10 years. It takes them about 10 years to get their green card from the time the petition. So I was telling her that I'm sure that he got it through EB1. So he said no, EB2. So she decided to call him, and he confirmed it that he actually got his green card through EB1, and he was able to get it because he's a researcher and he has published about 30 papers, and he has like about 100 citations. So this EB1, you don't necessarily to be like a professor to file for it. But if you are outstanding and can show that, I'm very outstanding, you can file under EB1. EB2 is for those that have advanced degree or are claiming exceptional ability. And this is the category we are focusing on in today's presentation. Other categories include EB2, which are for skilled workers. EB3, I believe this EB3 are for maybe blue collar jobs and other profession. EB4 is for religious workers, broadcasters, and certain employees of U.S. government. And EB5 is for investors. I wish everyone in this meeting can apply for EB5. So if you have money and you are ready to invest into the U.S. economy, you can file for green card under EB5. So let's talk more about EB2. The first one is you must have an advanced degree. To qualify, you must have either a master's degree in the US or an equivalent master's degree. So let's say you got your master's degree from Egypt, okay? That will also count, okay? If you don't have a master's degree, if you have a bachelor's degree with 5 years of post-degree work experience, you can still petition for a green card. The second condition is, if you are not claiming advanced degree, you can claim that you have an exceptional ability. To claim this, you must have 3 out of these 6 requirements. Number 1, you must show official academic record. You must have at least 10 years of work experience. You must have license to practice. You must show evidence that you command a high salary. You must show evidence that you belong to a professional society, and evidence that you have been recognized for your achievement. I believe that everyone can at least show 3. For example, it's easier to join a professional society, so you can show that one. That's one. It's easier for you to show your academic record, like your transcript and your diploma. That's 2. If you already have a job, it is you can show your payslip. So by command a salary that demonstrates exceptional ability, it's kind of vague. But me, I believe if you are making maybe above $8,000 or 100,000, 120,000, I mean, it's not just anyone that ends in 6 digits. I think you can show that. Or let's say you have a license. Let's say you are you have a PE license, that's a professional engineer, right? Or you have been called to bar as a lawyer, or you have a medical license, you're a medical doctor, can show this, can turn in this evidence. So now, whether you are applying for, or you are claiming advanced degree or exceptional ability, you must show that you have a job. Okay. Now, so if you have a job, you can now claim national interest waiver. And even if you have a job, you can still claim that national interest waiver. So national interest waiver basically means you are asking the US government to waive the requirement for a job and a labor certificate and to approve your petition. So that's what national interest waiver is about. And you can claim national interest waiver for both exceptional ability and advanced degree. So if you are claiming national interest waiver, 3 criteria must be met. You must be able to show that your proposed endeavor has substantial merit and national importance. So this substantial merit, the way I interpret it, is more like why. Why is your proposed endeavor important? So let's say you want to work more on writing softwares to combat cyber security. For the merit, you can talk about how the US is always under attack, under cyber attack, and the cyber attack have attacked US infrastructure. For example, the Colonial Pipeline. You can talk about that. Now, in terms of national importance, it's more about how your endeavor would impact the US. So you can say, okay, if you now help to write software that can combat cyber attacks, it will ensure that the US do not lose money to hackers or indirectly fund hacking group through ransom money that are paid. You can also argue that it's of national importance by ensuring that the US cyber space is safe, and it will foster the use of financial technology application for e-commerce. So all those things are of national importance to the US. Then the next thing is you need to show that you are well positioned to advance your proposed endeavor. And the way you can show that is you need to talk about your technical skills and your accomplishment. Talk about the degrees you have gotten. Talk about the papers you have published. If you have any patent, talk about your patent. If you have been recognized by a professional association or by companies, you need to talk about it. Then the last one is you can show that it will benefit the US to waive the job offer and the labor certificate. Here you can talk about that your proposed endeavor will not take jobs away from Americans. You can even talk about how your endeavor will benefit specific industry. So for example, in terms of the cybersecurity, how it will benefit the fintech industry, how it will benefit the technology industry, how it will benefit the United States military in ensuring that the infrastructure is not hacked by external forces. Okay? So now let's move to the nitty-gritty. How do you file this petition itself? It's in 2 stages. The first stage is the petition stage, and the second stage is the adjustment of status stage. Usually, I tell people to do it stage by stage, but you can also turn in all the forms together. So let's start with the first stage, petition for alien workers. During this stage, you will fill 3 forms. The first form is Form I-140. That's the petition for alien workers. In this form, you fill details about your name, where you live, if you are married, if you have children, you write their details in this form. The application fee is $700. The second form is ETA 750B. In this form, you fill details about your degrees and your work experience, the kind of tools that you use for your work, the equipment that you use for your work. The third form is Form G1145. With this form, you are authorizing uscis to communicate with you electronically via text messages and email. After you fill these 3 forms, you now attach supporting documents. An example of a supporting document is a CV. There's a difference between a resume and a CV. So the kind of document that your professor, your master's advisor, or your PhD use is actually a CV, because it's much more detailed. It contains all the papers they have published, all the students they have mentored, the grant that they have received, all the presentation that they have given. That's what you need for this kind of application. Then you need to also attach a petition cover letter. This is actually the meat of your application, because it is in this letter that you argue your case why you deserve a green card under the EB2 national interest waiver. Other documents are evidence to show that you have an advanced degree, such as photocopy of your diploma and your transcripts. Evidence to show that you have a master's degree, such as your evidence to show that you have a bachelor's degree, such as your bachelor's diploma and transcript. Also, recognition letters. So let's say in your cover letter, you said, that you have solved 100 cyber threats for your organization, and that during your master's or PhD program, you're able to develop new algorithm to fish out cyber threats on the internet. One of your references must corroborate your story in their recommendation letter. Okay. In addition, they must talk about how your expertise or your proposed endeavor will benefit the US, and also examples of industry or companies where your skill set is needed. All that must go into your recommendation letter. If not, that your recommendation letter will be lacking. Okay? Other documents that you can attach are evidence that you have published papers, and also your papers have been cited, licenses. So if you have a medical doctor or a lawyer or a professional engineer, you want to show, you want to provide the evidence. Okay. Also, if you have given presentations in peer review conferences, you want to show evidence that you have given such presentation. If you have gotten an award, you want to provide the evidence. So let's say during your master's or PhD, you got a research grant from National Science Foundation, or maybe any professional association. You want to show that you got such research grants. I'm almost at the 20 minutes mark, so Nika, you give me like 7 more minutes. So after you put all these documents together,
I give you 10.
Okay, thank you. After you put all these documents together, you send your application packet to USCIS office. As soon as they cash your check, that's the first thing they do. They'll send you a mail that, hello, Mrs. Joy, we have received your petition, and they'll give you a number to track the status of your application online. Now, it takes between 3 to 6 months for them to get back to you concerning your petition. And when they get back to you, either it is approved or you get the RFE. RFE is request for further evidence, okay? And in the letter, they state the kind of evidence that they want you to provide to support your argument. So when you get your RFE, you need to respond to that RFE. And even when you respond, your petition can either be approved or denied. And if your petition is denied, all hope is not lost. You can actually appeal. So last month, I was having a conversation with my brother-in-law, and he was telling me about a guy that turned in a petition for green card under NIW. He turned it in 3 times, and each time his petition was denied. On his 4th attempt, his petition was eventually approved. So there are instances in which people turn in multiple petitions until their petition was approved. However, if your one is approved, you now move to the next stage, which is the adjustment of status phase. During this stage, you will fill 4 forms. The first one is Form I-485. This is where this form is approved that you get your green card. The application fee for this form is $1,140, and you need to pay $85 for biometrics. This is when this form is approved that you get your green card. The second form is Form I-765. That's the employment authorization document. Because you are filing this with Form I-485, the application fee is waived. The third form is Form I-131. That's the application for travel document or advance parole. Because you are filing this with Form I-485, the application fee is also waived. So both the advance parole and the EAD card is a single document. It's called a combo card. But now they are even trying to separate it to increase the response time, how long they will get back to you. Also, I saw a document last month in which USCIS is proposing to increase the filing fee for each of these documents. So if that is approved, you will start paying money for Form I-765 and also Form I-131, even if you are filing them together with your Form I-485. Okay? The fourth document is Form I-693. That's a report of medical examination and vaccination record. It is a civil surgeon that will fill this form for you. And their fee varies. During my time, I found one that charged me $440. I've seen instances in which people found a civil surgeon that charged them to $250. Okay, so it can vary. Now, this is where it gets interesting. If you are married and your spouse is not a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident, he or she will also fill these 4 forms in order to get their green card. Also, so let's say you are single and you have been talking to someone and you are interested in getting married to that person, you can quickly get married so that your new spouse can fill these 4 forms and also adjust their status with you. In addition, if you have any child that is not a U.S. citizen, your child must fill all these forms. However, if your child is less than 14, it doesn't make sense. Nick, please, can you mute that person? It doesn't make sense filling Form I-765 for your child. After you fill all this form, you put it together in one envelope and send it to USCIS. And they will send you a mail for each of the documents that you filled. After they send you that mail, about 4 weeks later or 6 weeks, they will send you another mail to schedule for biometrics. And on the day of the biometrics, you go to the USCIS office, they will take your fingerprint and your picture. And that concludes your application process. 4 to 6 weeks after you have done your biometrics, you get your employment authorization documents. Okay, and this is how the EAD card looks. It looks similar to your OPT card. However, the number on it shows that you are in the process of getting permanent residence based on employment EB2-NIW. So the EAD card during my time it's valid for 1 year, but now I think it's valid for 2 years, and you can keep renewing your EAD card until your green card is approved. 4 to 8 weeks after you get your EAD card, you get your green card, and this is how your green card will look like. Okay. From the time you turn in your Form I-140 to the time you get your green card, now it's about between 9 months and 1 year. And your green card will be valid for 10 years, and you can keep renewing your green card. However, if you have been a permanent resident for 5 years, you can file to become a U.S. citizen. So now I'm going to share my own timeline. I turned in my petition in April 2018, and my petition was approved in October 2018. By November 2018, I turned in my adjustment of status form I-485 together with my EAD card form and my travel document form. By December 2018, I was called in for biometrics, and I did about biometrics. By April 2019, my EAD card was approved. Then by September 2019, I went for interview. Now, let me explain this. So I turned in my application when Trump was still the president of the United States, and there was a new regulation that everyone applying for green card must show up for interview. Before that time, there was no interview for EB2-NIW. But because everyone was showing for interview, I had to go for the interview. And during the interview, the USS officer was asking me all the yes and no questions in my form. Have you ever been involved in drug trafficking? Have you ever been involved in sex trafficking? Things like that. Okay. Then she said, that they have issued all the green card for that fiscal year, and that I need to wait for the next fiscal year, which starts in October. And that's why my green card was approved in October. And I received my green card in mail in November 2019. So that is my story. So now I'll call on Olanike to quickly share our own green card story. Olanike, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Bob, and thank you, everyone. So, sorry about that.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Sorry about that. I think I just unmute the person. So, again, I have an agric background. So there is a video on Bobola's YouTube channel about my story, which I'm going to share again. But I have a background in agriculture, a bachelor's and a master's from Nigeria. I came to the US for my PhD, and during my PhD, I made this application. And this is my own timeline. And my application prep actually took up to 8 months, 7 to 8 months. I started applying actively, or started putting my documents together in October 2019. And I submitted May 2020. So I made that submission May 2020. And about two weeks later, there was notice of receipt from USCIS that they got my application, and they gave me a case number. So that case number, I was using it to track my case to see what they were doing about it and how it was moving. But nothing happened until a year later, which is May 29, 2020, a year after I submitted the application. They told me my application was approved. So that's the I-140 was approved. They didn't ask for any evidence. They didn't ask for anything. They just said it was approved. So after that, took a little break. I took a little break and started applying for my change of status in November 2021. So when I did the change of status, I also applied for advanced parole and applied for work authorization. And of course, I added my dependent, or my spouse, when I was doing the change of status. So that was in November 2021. By April, they already sent us a letter to go do our biometrics. So April 2022, we did the biometrics, and we got the permanent residence or our green card in June 2022. So I know I'm mixing things together, but yeah, we got our work authorization in May, myself and my husband, and in June we got our green card in our hands. So roughly it took about 2 years if you want to include the weeks, while we were not doing anything between June and November. So this is my story, and thank you everyone again. The next thing on our agenda is to take questions, and please, we need your cooperation because we want to do it in an orderly manner. We know a lot of people have questions from Bobola's presentation, from specific experiences that we all have. You know, people have different experiences with this whole thing. So please respect everybody here. People are already raising their hands. That is good. So I'm going to call you by how I see you on my screen. And when someone is talking, please don't interrupt. Okay, we'll attend to everyone, please. So the first person that would talk is or ask our question is Janice Fomba. And that's my sister. I think I know that name. How are you, Janice? Unmute and ask your question.
Hey, Nikki and Bob. Thank you for your presentation. I'm doing okay today. Yes, it's a Janice, you know. So my question for you is, you applied with your PhD or your master's from Nigeria. Did you use any publication, or at that time, what did you have on your application?
Okay, this is a really good question. Janice, I got my master's in Nigeria. I was in my 4th year of PhD when I made this application. So I didn't have my PhD yet. So to show evidence of advanced degree, I used my master's from Nigeria. I did have publications, two publications when I applied. I hope that answers your question. The next person.
So do you necessarily need a publication to apply?
Okay, that's a good question. You do not need a publication to apply. We have a couple of cases that we've handled, and they didn't have publications and they got their green cards. Bobola himself did not have a publication when he applied, and he got his green card. Okay, so that said, you want to be able to tick other boxes strongly. So if you don't have a publication, maybe your award or your references, you know, the other things that Bobola listed, you want to be very strong on those ones so you can get your 100% mark on those ones. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question. So no follow-up questions from Janice anymore. So the next person is Olumuyiwa.
Okay, good afternoon. It's good evening where I am.
Yes.
So, am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you clearly, Muyiwa.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm a graduate from University of Ibadan.
You are in the house.
Yeah,
myself too.
Okay, and I got my master's from University of Ibadan also. I just want to ask, is there anything like an assurance if peradventure you start? Because I have a couple of work experience on the field, and I'm also into research. I'm a PhD student in Johannesburg. I'm in my 3rd year at the moment in the engineering space. So I want to ask, what is, I know you're not the one that is filing, I mean, you have some experience with respect to it, but I want to ask if you put in everything, what is the percentage of it being successful? Yeah.
Okay. So Muyiwa, I just want to tell you that if you put in everything the way you're supposed to handle this application, the guarantee, especially for Africans. I don't want to speak to Indians and other countries because they just have a longer wait time. It's not because it doesn't work for them. It works for them, but they have a longer wait time. So for Nigerians, Kenyans, all of us, I want to say it's like 98% sure that you're going to get it. If you tick those boxes and you write a convincing cover letter, you'll get it. They would also give you a chance to do an RFE if they feel that you're not convincing enough. So that's like your second chance to actually prove that the United States needs you from wherever you are all over the world. So that you're in South Africa or whatever, doesn't matter. Someone has done it from Nigeria that I know that got it, and she was in Nigeria. So I want to say it's a really good route, about 88% sure that you get it. So Solomon.
Wait, can I quickly add to that?
Yes,
Babala. Mr. Olumoyiwa, usually I tell people when people ask me, is there an assurance that you get it? I usually tell them that just put your best foot forward. Now, some applications are more riskier than others. So let's say you are just turning in 3 evidence. You just say let's say your main evidence are you have an advanced degree. You have recognition letters, you're a member of professional society. Is much riskier than someone that has those 3, and the person has also published like 7 papers, like 20 citations. The person has had research grants. The person has had like 10 years of work experience. That person's own application is less riskier. However, even if you have everything, it's not actually a guarantee that you get it. Even though your chance is higher, it's not a guarantee that you'll get it because USCIS going to make the ultimate decision whether you get it or not. However, if you have more evidence to show, you write a convincing cover letter, there's a higher chance that your petition will be approved. That's
okay. Please, lastly, still a follow-up on this. If you pack in everything, push in everything, make the payment, what is the time frame?
Okay, so like we shared our timelines, it's really different. Some people they have their wait period or the time between application and getting the green card in their hands. They have less than a year. Mine was 2 years. So it's case dependent. I cannot say for sure. So some people believe that if they feel that your field of study or your concentration is really needed urgently in the United States, like if you're working on cancer research or this type of, some eye-selling field of study, they will approve your I-140 quickly within 2 months, within a month. But it's case-specific. It depends on the officer and the USCIS officer that is handling your case, reading your case, and whenever that decision of your I-140 is made, you still have to do the other side of the application, which is your change of status. So I'll say give or take a year or 2. So, Solomon, I'm sorry, Mr. Muiwa had a follow-up question, but you're next now.
Yeah, no problem. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
All right. Good afternoon, Nike and Bobola. So, yes, I have a slight confession. So I actually got in contact with Bobola before this, and he explained some things to me because I got a request for evidence. And my question is this. So I strategized, I returned the document, although it stipulates that within 60 days, they will get back to you people on average, based on the cases you've filed that have involved RFEs. How long has that process typically taken?
Okay, so they already told you 60 days, all right?
Yes.
So you're just trying to say from our experience, how long does it take? Because I'll just say 60 days.
Let me answer that question. So usually they'll give us you within 60 days. However, it might take longer. I've seen someone that there was someone that I work with. I helped her to write the response letter for RFE, and she got to response within 2 weeks. A petition was approved. And I've seen another one that, after the person will respond to the RFE, the person not air back until like maybe after 90 days.
Yeah. So I know someone, it just took a month. And after a month, they got back with the I-140 approved. So again, case specific maybe. So let's just wait and keep praying for yours. Thank you, Solomon. Would that be all? Okay.
And also another thing is with regards to licensure and certification. I know in engineering, before you get to the PE stage, there's a first certificate you pick up, and that's the engineering training. So do you think that holds weight as well?
Bobola, you are closer to engineering than I am. Over to you.
So for me, engineering training, I don't think it carries a lot of weight like that, but I'll probably still attach it to it.
Yeah.
If you have gotten your PE license, that's professional engineering license, I feel that carries more weight than engineering in training. Okay.
All right.
For IT guys, for those in the tech industry that they don't have license, they only have all these certifications. So at any time, so I tell people that I think you can actually argue that your certifications are licenses, okay? Because that's what works in your industry. So if you have all these CAMTA, TA+, all these other certifications, you can actually argue that that's actually a form of license.
All right, Bobola, thank you. Everyone, we would answer everyone, and I see your questions in the chat box, and would attend to those questions too. I'll read them out and we'll answer them. Thank you. Afriye. Tell me how to say it. How to say Afriye. Okay, you're next.
Thank you. So, as you can see, my name is Yvette. I'm here in the US getting my master's in data analytics.
Okay.
I'm almost at the end of my program. I graduate in May. And I was wondering, like, how can you prove that data analytics is important to the US? Because
Really? That's your question?
Yes, because I can see the importance of cybersecurity to the US. I can see how that works out, but I don't see how I can craft my cover letter to prove that the master's program I'm doing is beneficial. And secondly, I heard Bobola saying, I do not have any certifications, licenses, nothing. It's just me getting this master's degree in hopes of landing something good here in the US. So that is my question. Thank you.
First, congratulations on graduating in May. And the second thing I want to tell you is there are so many ways to prove data analytics is really important to the United States. The third thing I want to tell you is you can work with us at Radiant Stone to craft that cover letter. So we have high risk cases, which yours will fall into. We have low risk cases. Do you have publications? I know you said you don't have license.
No, I don't.
Do you have some publications?
No, I don't.
Do you have work experience? Did you do any internship during this master's?
No.
Do you have any work experience? Okay.
I have 7 years work experience from my bachelor's up until now. That's what.
Can you talk with us and we can do like a consultation session with you and try to see how we can walk through your case, right, if you don't mind. Thank you. So Bobola wants to say something.
Just send us an email at mygreencardstory@gmail.com.
Okay. All right.
Please.
Thank you so much.
All right. So the next person is Dr. Joseph Iboyi. Joseph?
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much, Nika. First of all, I want to appreciate you and, Bola, right?
Bobola. Bob.
Yeah. All right. For organizing this. It was very insightful and had a lot of information that we could take away. Well, I've only got 2 questions. My first question is, what would be your advice if one is going to strategize on trying to decide or choose who to use as recommenders? If you're gonna, because you're gonna have to turn in recommendation letters, and if you have a pool of professors or people you've worked with, or a lot of people outside of your work and things like that, what would be your strategy in choosing people who you should contact for writing recommendation letters for you? And
that's
then
one. The second question.
Second question is there any instruction somewhere, maybe within the USCIS website, because I don't think you or Babola covered it, instructions on how to arrange your documents before sending? Let's say you have everything you need. How do you arrange them? Like, is there an instruction within the USCIS website on how to want the document arranged? Remember one time you sent me a picture of your own package and it had some little colorful stuff that you, like, I think you used that to direct the USS officers on where your exhibit are, exhibit 9, exhibit whatever, and all of that. Like, what are those? So, yeah, those are my two questions.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. I'm going to give a shot at your two questions and I'll let Babola do the same. So your first question is your recommendation. So the people that will be writing your recommendation letters, they've become like your stakeholders in this application. So you have to actually categorize them. So how important are they in this field of study? Are they like what I would say legends, or really important people that if anybody mentions their name, people know them? Then the other part is, are they willing to actually say the good things about you? So you don't have to get recommendation letter from someone that knows you personally. You can get a recommendation letter from the mayor or anybody that is really important. They don't have to know you personally. And you can get from people that can actually attest to your years of experience in that field. So you are the one that will sit down and categorize it, but you want to be able to work with them so that they are also attesting to your importance in that field of study. They can be your past professors, they can be your current professors, they can be people you've worked with in companies, in different industries over the years. But that said, not everybody adds recommendation letters to their application. It definitely makes it stronger, okay? That people that don't know you, maybe in Australia, wherever they are all over the world, they know your work. They know they know your advantage in the US or what you will be adding to the US. It's really good, but some people don't add recommendation letters to their application. Okay, if you decide to, make sure there are important people in that field of study and make sure that they are willing to attest to your expertise in the field. The second thing is you're asking how to arrange the document. So that tells me that you're already on the process. There are so many advice on, I don't know if it's USCIS website itself, but there are so many small groups that people form, and they can advise you on the best ways to package your application. I did what you said. For each of my exhibits, I put, it's like, what's it called? It's like the tiny stickers, different colors, and I put them, like, write the number at the tip of my application. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 60 something for the different documents that I submitted. You can see it. And when you pick 5, you have, like, in front of it a cover page that tells you what that document, the old document 5, is all about. That's how I arranged it. There are advices on don't use staplers, use pins that they can easily remove and detach all the pages. There's those advices online you can check. Babola, what do you say to Dr. Joe?
Yeah, so give me a minute. I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
So I was trying to reply to someone's message in the chat section.
Yeah, we'll get to the chat section. Thank you, everyone, for your patience.
On my screen, this is the default page for Form I-140. So the person was asking, how do you arrange your document? So first, anytime I tell people to fill their form, I usually encourage them to read the instruction document. You can see under forms and document download, there's the Form I-140 and there's the instruction for Form I-140. Most people do not download it and they don't read it. Make sure you download it and read it. Okay? Now, concerning filing tips, you go to Forms Filing Tip, click the drop down box. Then here there's a link that says Tips for Filing Form by Mail. Click on it and to tell you, take you to a new page and it tell you on how to arrange your document, how to label it. Everything that you need to know is on this page, and there are more links that you can click and keep reading. But for everyone that I've worked with, I don't take them to this page because it's very stressful. I just explain to them how to arrange it, and that's all. The information you need is on this page, so please go to this page and read as much as possible.
All righty. Do you want to say something about the referees, his recommendation letter?
Okay.
How to prioritize them or how to categorize them?
So let's say, for example, I don't know his field of study. So let's say you got your master's in chemical engineering from.
No. He got his master's from plant breeding, agronomy, and got a PhD in the same field. Please.
Okay, you got your master's and PhD in plant agronomy. Sorry, I was replying to the chat.
What's plant agronomy?
For example, you can approach your master's advisor or your PhD advisor to write you a recognition letter. Okay, then to write about the research you did during your course of study, the result of your research, and how that result will benefit the US. And they talk about areas, the kind of industry that need the results. Now, I've read a lot of recommendation letters that people write that reference write for applicants, and on the average, it's always very vague. They can say something like, "Oh, Olanika is very smart, intelligent. She show up on time." That's not what they are looking for in your recommendation letter. They are not interested in if you have a GPA of 3.2 or 4.4 over 4.4. No, they're not interested. In that letter, they are looking for what you have worked on. They want to see a record of what you have worked on. They want to see how the result of your research can be implemented in the US.
Yes.
To help the broader nation or the broader economy.
Okay.
They want to see where you can work, things like that. So that's what they are looking for.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Ivy, you're next. Then Abdullahi Adiola, please get ready. Ivy is next. Please ask your questions.
Hi.
Hello.
So my question is, I guess, is around, will I call it duplicate application? Okay, so context. Say your employer is actually filing H-1B. However, that process has been
taking longer. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So can you go ahead and still put in for the NIW while that is still, and to give context of the stage in particular, it's still around the LMT because they were reviewing documents and making updates. So you kind of have just been in that phase, right, where it's still LMT and PWD, labor market test, prevailing wage determination. So is it okay to go ahead with this process? Does that, create any duplicates or give any red flags?
All right, Ivy, I got you. We've been getting this question recently a lot from people. And Bobola, I'm sure you were ready for this question.
I'm replying someone's response right now in the chat.
Okay, so we'll get back to Ivy shortly. We think, and I'm talking on behalf of Radiant Stone. Can come and stone me when we finish. But what we think we decided on that or said to people is it's fine to apply on NIW category, even when your employer, whatever stage they are on. It's fine to still go on with your own application. If it happens that your application comes through first, then you can tell them to terminate that. So there won't be clash or that you're having two green cards, which you won't have. So you need to, once you have green card, you stop whatever your employer, at whatever stage your employer is, you stop that. We haven't worked with anybody that has done that at Radiant Stone, but we think it's not a clash of interest. Your employer is applying for you, you're applying by yourself and you're self-petitioning. So when you get it, if it happens to be faster, you tell your employer to stop whatever they're doing. I hope that answers the question. And when Babola is done answering those in the chat box, he's going to shed more light.
Okay, let me answer the question. I think she said
you are ready.
Our employer is filing for H-1B and she wants to also file for green card, right?
No, our employer is filing for green card.
Yes.
Oh, if the employer is filing for green card,
I'm already on H-1B.
Just hold on and let the employer do it. So I've had instances in which, like, someone's employer is filing for green card and don't file that one. There's no problem. There's no need, because if your employer is filing for green card, usually they probably go through the labor certification route. They first get a labor certificate. That will take like 1 year. Then they will now file the petition. And
so what if she can't wait? She is saying it's taking longer than expected.
It will take a lot longer because if you have self-filing, you are probably seeking a national interest waiver. So you are telling them to waive that labor certificate. But because your employer is getting that labor certificate first, it reduces the risk of getting an RFE and a denial. In addition to that, because you are going through an employer, they can add some supporting document to your application. So, for example, if you have self-petitioning and you are working with a company, the company will not obviously give you documents to support your application. But if the company is filing the green card for you, they will provide those documents to your attorney. They will even tell your colleagues, your bosses to write recommendation letters for you. So that will actually help your case. So just relax. I know it's taking time, but just relax. Okay.
So it seems like those were two different answers to Ivy's question. I kind of said that she can go on and do the NIW if she wants, and you are saying she should just wait it out. So up to you, Ivy. But I haven't heard of any situation where it became a problem.
So let me give another example. It's not that close to our own. So let's say your employer is filing H-1B for you. Okay, you can also be filing green card under EB2-NIW at the same time, because it's their parallel application. They do not interact with each other. So let's say you go married to a US citizen. You can file green card based on marriage. That's immediate relatives, the US citizen, and at the same time you can file for green card based on EB2-NIW. They are parallel application, and the one that it's the person that is approved first, we just go with that one to get a green card.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. That helps.
All right. Thank you, Ivy. So Adiola.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. My question is, I'm an F1 student.
Okay.
Where my wife, the dependent, is not working. When I'm filing my documents, will the wife also submit a CV? That's my first question.
Okay.
The second one is publications. Must it be a publication being written in the US, or whether it's irrespective of the country where the paper was written.
Publish.
For instance, maybe like in Nigeria now, maybe I publish my papers in Nigeria before even coming here. Would that still be counted?
Okay, I can answer that.
And lastly, please, can I apply directly? Because you were saying something about NMBW green card. I'm getting confused. Maybe, yeah. Can I apply directly as an F1 student? Can I apply directly for green cards?
You joined late. That's why.
I joined before 11. Abby, before 12.
Okay.
I'm number 2 person I joined. Number 2 person.
Okay. Adiola. So the first question is, as an F1 student, can you apply? Yes. I was F1 when I made my application. Bobola was F1 too. So as F1 or you said visiting, but F1 as F1 student, you can apply for green card. Number 2. When you are including your dependents, they don't have to submit their resume. They don't have to also prove that they are working in whatever field. They are just your dependents. You know, you are the main applicant. You are the one proving anything. Okay. So number 3, your publications in Nigeria or wherever before you came here, they are relevant. They are counted as your efforts in that field of study. So where I had a publication from Nigeria, which I included in my application of the two to three publications I submitted. So they are relevant. I think I answered all the questions.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. I can see Solomon is back, but before I let Solomon ask another question, because he already did, I'm going to be in the chat box briefly. Bobola already answered a lot of people, so we'll just run through it. The first question, Bobola, is we haven't decided. Are we sharing the recording of this video to everyone's email?
I think what I will do is I'm going to upload it on YouTube, on our YouTube page. So I wanted to stream it at the beginning of this meeting.
It wasn't working.
It wasn't working. So I'm going to upload it on our YouTube page.
Okay, so your last question was, and I think some people might have that confusion too, so let me just address it. So this EB2-NIW is a route to getting your green card. Okay, so there are so many ways, like Bobola shared in his presentation, that you can get a US green card. This is one of the ways. Okay, and some are family-based, some are employment-based. So this one falls under employment-based category. And under employment-based, there are about 5 categories. This one is the second category under the employment-based. Okay, so don't let's be confused. It's the route to the green card application. So we will share this on YouTube. Bobola said we will not send it to the emails. We will share it. So Julie's question is, when next are we having this kind of session? She would, or you would like to invite more people. Thank you, Julie, and we'll let you know. We don't know right now. Is this route strictly for academics? No. This route is not strictly for academics. It's for people that, like Bobola said, they just happen to have advanced degree, which is master's. And then they have some other things that Bobola listed during his presentation. And we might actually go back and watch it on the YouTube's, on Bobola's YouTube, what do they call that thing? YouTube channel. So it's not strictly for academics. So you're not a professor, you're not an educator, you're not teaching, fine, you can still apply. So Tosin has a question. Between the time your application was approved and the waiting period when you finally sent in your files, was there no deadline? I never had a deadline issue. I was just doing my thing at my pace. So the people that get RFE, after the I-140 approval, they will have deadline. They will give them the period they have to turn in the other evidences they want to show. But I did not. I just did it at my pace.
So,
well, do you want to say something?
No, someone asked a question and I tried to reply the question on chat, but the response is not sufficient. So,
have I gotten there?
No,
have I gotten to that question?
No, you have not. So, okay. Raymond Awoni asked, does NIW application affect your OPT application? I have a few months towards my OPT application. So, the answer is no, it doesn't affect your OPT application. However, I need to give more reasons. Okay. So let's say you are turning in your form I-140, which is a petition form. It doesn't affect your OPT application. However, if you want to turn in your OPT application at the same time that you want to turn in your adjustment of status form, that's the form I-485, and also your EB2-NIW form, based on the fact that you are adjusting your status. What probably happen is they'll approve your EAD card form based on your adjustment of status form, and they won't approve your OPT form. Okay, because it's still the same document. You turn in that I-765 for both OPT and also when you're adjusting your status. So there's no point approving it twice. Okay, but the EAD card that they will give you based on your adjustment of status is more powerful than your OPT card. Okay.
A lot of forms and a lot of things to remember.
I won't worry about it.
Okay, I hope he understands that difference. Ola Jesu, please, I came late to the meeting. Please, can I get the recording for the meeting? No. My email? No. Please go to Bobola's YouTube channel. You'll see it there. Okay. I love this question. Cynthia Odogu, what are the chances for someone outside of STEM? My field is in the arts and humanities. I think, Bobola, you need to have a session for this separately. But briefly, can you answer that?
Yeah, sure. So if your field is... So I remember 5 years ago, everyone thinks that you can only apply for green card under EB2-NIW if your field falls within STEM. But that's not so. I know, so my brother-in-law is a lawyer. He got his LLM, and also in law, they have a PhD. I don't know what they call it. Is it LLD? He got his PhD in law, and his research was on immigration. And they filed for green card under EB2-NIW, and he got it. I know someone that was getting his PhD in philosophy, which is under art. He filed for it, and he got his approval. I know another person that was getting his PhD in linguistics.
You'll be scaring people. What of somebody that had masters in data analytics? You need to give that kind
obviously, yeah, sure. Now, if you have masters in
yes,
data
the way you're not calling the PhD, it's not all of us.
Yeah. So let me give you a story. So I'll try and interview.
Story at 110, Bobola.
No. It's a summary. So there was someone that I worked with. I helped him to write his cover letter. He has a master's, okay? But he has not published any paper, okay? And his master's was
thesis,
and his field is in computer science. He's a software engineer. He turned in his petition first week of September, and by the first week of October, his petition was approved. Within 4 weeks.
Praise the Lord.
And he has a master's, okay?
And that's the same, Bobola. That's not a good example.
Oh, okay. It's not a good story, but that's them. So I'm just sharing it because the person that is getting master's in data analytics.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good example, then. Thank you. Silas Samuel, thanks for your presentation. Thanks for being part of it. Thank you for joining. Please, can you shed some light on Form I-140 premium processing? How does this have an influence on your application? I know this question. Well, Bobola, premium processes, does it help you to hide any faults in your application?
So premium processing just means that, okay, so let's say for regular petition or regular fee, which is $700, it will take like 6 months before they get back to you. If you are filing premium, they probably get back to you in 30 or 45 days.
45 days, yeah.
Okay, so that's just the main difference.
how about the other part? How does this have an influence?
It doesn't have any kind of influence whether it will be approved or not.
Okay, so you can do premium and it can be denied too. So yeah, they're just assuring you that they will get back to you in 45 days. Not that you.
I think it's 45 days. I think they get back to you within a short time.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's 45 days.
Okay, I am rushing to Rosalie. Oh, Rosalie, how are you? That's my sister too. She said, "Hi, Nike and Bob. May I inquire if we have encountered the case of J1 scholars where they have 2-year home residency condition before they can come back to the US. She graduated August 2022, but I am currently on academic training. I am wondering if you know someone who had the waiver and applied for a green card. Do you know anything about that, Bobola?
Okay, so this one that I know that J1 students do. So I know people that are on J1 a lot. So what they do is, for example, those that I know are getting that PhD. So let's say they are getting that PhD. They go home like regularly to go and spend like maybe 3 months, 4 months, 6 months and go and do their research. So the reason why they are doing that is because they are trying to
get the 2 years
to run the clock for that 2 years.
Okay.
So they make sure that they accumulate that 2 years before they finish their PhD program. So that by the time they are finishing, they have already spent that 2 years outside the US working, and now they can turn in their petition. So
okay,
if you have a J1, you need to go back. So I know that you can actually seek a waiver. So people actually they seek a waiver and they can still file for EB2 or under NIW.
Yes. So Rosalie, I was speaking with Caesar this morning, whom you know Caesar. So he was telling me they had to apply for that waiver. So you can talk to Caesar. You know him and his girlfriend. And they applied for this waiver because they also came initially on J1 and now they're trying to apply for their green card. So you can talk to them. Bobola already answered John's question. Mutia to Growing Day, please, can you drop the link here? Yeah, we'll drop all our links here to our social media and to our email address. What I don't know which link, but we'll drop the link of our contacts or contact links here in the meeting chat before we leave. Usari Dauda, please, do applicants in the humanities stand any chance of being considered? Yes. How do you advise me? Adewale Sejera. I don't know if I said it well. I'm sorry, Mr. Adewale. How do you advise me just starting my PhD to start preparing early? Please try to tick those 6 boxes while you're on your PhD. Apply for any award that you see. Even if you don't get it, it counts. The grants, try to apply for 1 or 2 and publish as much as you can. There is difficulty in publishing depending on the field of study, but as much as you can to show your expertise, publish and put your work out there. Also, when you go for conferences, give those presentations, posters, all those things, they will count. Okay. So that would be my advice for you to get prepared, replying to be precise, ma. Okay, so Cynthia is trying to be precise about our humanities and arts question. So she's saying that if her area of study is English language, I think you guys have huge chance in the United States. The people that studied English language arts, you can be educators. You can say whatever it is you want to come and do in the US. English language has a lot of applications. So I would say yes, you have a good chance. But yes, as Bobola said, you can ask an attorney because I am not a lawyer. So, can I apply outside of the US from Nigeria? I love that. That's so specific. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Adeyinka, what happens when you get a denial on your NIW application? Does it reduce your chances of reapplying, or you can also reapply for the NIW? And also, what's the limit of reapplying for the EB2-NIW after a denial? Bobola mentioned in his talk that somebody applied 4 times. It was on the 4th count that they approved that person's application. So I don't think there is a cap, but you can continue reapplying.
I mean, there's no
cap. A cap?
There's no cap, but you want to space it. So let's say you got your denied this year. Obviously, you don't want to turn it on that petition immediately. Just wait like at least 1 year, and within that 1 year, try and improve on your evidence.
I think that's really important.
So let's say if you have not published paper, try and publish more papers within that 1 year. Try and showcase your work, give talks in professional meetings. Let's say there's a license in your field, like the PE license in engineering. Try and sit for that exam and write it. Okay. So things like that will improve your chances of getting an approval. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's also good that you know why they are denying you. Okay.
Yeah. So
then you address it and just wait to reapply.
So there's a form that you can fill if your petition is denied, so that they will give you like a detailed reasons why your petition is denied.
Yeah, Shadrach O'Malley, Abba, you have the kindred here. Please, what is RFE? RFE is request for further evidence, right? So that is what you're given when they request more information about your application. So they sometimes it comes with a letter and an envelope where they want you to include that additional evidence. So some people that don't have a master's degree, they are just going straight to a PhD. They get that a lot. So they are trying to tell you that although you are doing a PhD, which is an advanced degree, but you do not have a master's, so they will kind of tell you, wait till you get a PhD, so you can include your evidence of getting a PhD in that envelope, then send it as an added evidence. Your evidence may be that, or your request for more evidence may be that you've mentioned that people know your work a lot, but here you've not included anybody outside US or within US or wherever to attest to any of your work or your inventions, So they might ask for further evidence based on anything, but it's usually really specific, and you can send it back to them. Oh, Titi Lokwe already answered. God bless you, Titi Lokwe. I went on and on for that. So, Raymond, does NIW application affect OPT? We answered that. Olumuyiwa, is there a need for a proof of fund during the application? Proof of fund?
No. There's no proof of fund. So now, next question. Someone asked this question, which is very interesting. I was trying to reply in the chat, but let me just reply here.
Okay.
Akile said, if you are on F1 PhD, where your spouse is in another country, is it okay if you file for both of you? So you can only turn in one Form I-140 per person. So this is what you can do. Whether your spouse is here in the US or outside, you can turn in your own Form I-140, and your spouse too can turn in our own Form I-140.
From wherever they are.
If your Form I-140 is approved, then she can just join you to adjust status together. If your own is not approved and your wife's own is approved, you can join her to adjust our status together. If both are approved, good luck. Just adjust your status. So for those that are married, and both husband and wife are either on OPT or F1, you can turn it separate from I-140, or one person can turn it in depending on how financially buoyant you are.
Okay, so no more. We already answered your question. F1 students can. F1s. Okay, that's not what I read. A visitor who changed status here to become F1 students can acquire. Yes, you can. blessing to everyone. Is 10 citations, bro, or sis? Is 10 citations enough for NIW? Also, is it okay to have only recommenders who have worked with you either as your manager or advisor or collaborators in your publications without having any independent recommenders? These recommenders are well positioned in their field.
Wow.
I think I already explained that. So two things. 10 citations is enough. So some papers are published, they have 0 citations till date. So
yeah. How about us that someone like me that I don't even have paper?
Not to talk of someone citing it. Okay, sorry.
Citations.
Okay, so she also asked about.
I think you are a good blessing. Please go and apply.
Yeah, and
please contact us if you need help writing your cover letter.
Yes, please. We need contact us. Okay. She asked about recommenders or referees. So, yes, it's fine to use an advisor who also was cited on that paper that you've published. It's fine. That's good. I guess nobody can know you better than people you publish together. You can also use independent recommenders. So, like I advised or said when I was talking to Joseph, lawyers will tell you a lot of things because, of course, they want case to come back approved. Okay? We are trying to tell you today that most of those things may not count at the end of the day. So you can use independent recommenders. You can use recommenders that know your work or you've worked together up to publishing together. You can use those, Yeah. Numo said, I've typed my questions since the session began, but you've not answered. I'd like an answer. Thank you. Numo, I hope we've answered. Do I need to have my transcript evaluated before submitting the NIW application? If my degree were obtained in Nigeria, I did not have it, evaluated. I didn't have my transcript, my Nigerian transcript, so I didn't have them evaluated. Okay, so it's not compulsory. Can you please share with us other strong documents the computer science graduate student submitted before it got approved? Bobola, in 2 months, like you said, for the testimony you just shared.
No, his petition was approved in 4 weeks. Yeah, so unfortunately, I don't share the document of people that I work with because it's
confidential. Okay, yeah, but seriously, Adeyinka, please contact us. We won't share that person's document, but we can advise you on how to make your application strong. Benga Osho, thanks for your presentation. Can I apply for NIW when I haven't completed my master's in law and I can't practice law in the US until I am licensed to practice from the US? What's happening?
No, I'm trying to share the screen to show our contact information.
Bob, I've scattered everything here.
Oh, sorry.
Shit. That was an important question. Maybe because you knew I was going to tell you to answer it since your in-law is a lawyer. That's why you just took everything off.
Anyway, we have like 5 minutes more.
And we still have 27 questions.
Yeah, so what we are going to do is I'm going to download the questions, and I'll do like Nick and I will do Zoom a YouTube section, and we'll be addressing the questions. There are a lot of questions.
Wait, Mr. Osho or Lawyer Osho, I'm so sorry. I was getting into the juice of your question. Okay, I'm back. Thanks for your presentation. Can I apply for NIW when I haven't completed my master's in law and I can't practice law in the US until I am licensed to practice from the US law school? You need a master's. So maybe we'll finish the master's, then apply. Even if you don't have this license, you can base it on advanced degree in law. Can Mr. Bobola drop his YouTube channel? Mr. Bobola, drop your YouTube channel. Please, I am a chartered accountant like my father, Matthew Ashaolu. I know to work in US, you have to have CPA in US. How do I prove my professional relevance? Mr. Ashaolu, If you don't have a master's with your chartered accountant, your ICANN, whatever certification, if you don't have a master's degree, he said he does. So you have a master's degree, and I'm sure you have a lot of years of work experience. So you can prove it with your years of experience working as an accountant. So the kind of projects you've worked on, your kind of success rates, how you've moved and shake all those companies you've worked with as an accountant, the things, the risks you've tried to avert for them. You can tell your story, your professional story, and you can get it because you already have a master's. Also, please, these awards, do they include awards such as Scholarship Award and Academic Excellence Awards? Yes, Shedrack O'Malley did too. Can you please share with us other strong documents? No. Okay. Ahmad Jamil, what can you say about filing without an attorney? Bro, what have we been doing here since morning? Well, I can say that you can do it. You can file without an attorney. That's what I can say about it. Okay? You can do it. If you're sure that your case is strong, and you tick all those boxes we already talked about, you can do it by yourself. You can file by yourself. Both of us we filed by ourselves. We didn't use attorney. John Melford, I am finishing my master's degree in May. Do I have to wait after May to apply? And can I apply now? Please wait till that master's comes. Okay, I think I'm done. Solomon, your hand is still up. Do you want to say something so that we can all leave?
Yes. So, again, thanks for allowing me sneaking this question last minute. The first one is, if you people permit me, I'll just share for the benefit of others what I think some other things are with regards to recommendation letters, because I tried to gather them and I consulted my own resources. The more independent it is, the higher up that person is, the better it is. Like, for example, my own case was based on using quadcopters or drones for survey and all other tasks in construction. So imagine somebody from the Department of Commerce or a general from the Air Force or somebody writes that recommendation letter to carry way much more weight. Yes, or somebody from Boeing, something like that. And then, or maybe your dean of engineering as well. So the more objective it is better. Subjective recommender, okay, your advisor, his friend who is in the field. So I think the way you can appeal to that is to use LinkedIn so that you can leverage connections of connections. So that's what I try to do. And secondly, this is a question for you people, right? I was going to leave it out, but Bobola convinced me otherwise. When I tell lawyers that I was a member of a professional society in, say, NSB, ACM, and Co. So a lot of times they will say, it doesn't have any relevance, that I needed to show that society needed some kind of merit to join it. So a lot of times I've gotten that from lawyers. So I don't know how true that is, how well that statement holds to account or anything. Okay,
Bobola, you want to address that?
Yeah, so you are saying...
For me, let me go first. So again, if you get a 0 or a 20 on one requirement, you have to get 100 on another requirement. I did not prove that my professional organizations needed a level of merit to be member. Or like all my professional organizations or APS, all those things, I didn't have to prove that I joined because I'm top 10% or top 1% in my field. I didn't have to prove that. So I would say it's not true. Bobola, what do you think?
I want to answer this question. So when I spoke to a lawyer that I want to apply, he said that most people that have applied under EB2-NIW that they have published at least 3 papers, and he advised me to wait. as at that time, I've not published any paper, and I went forward. My petition was approved. So in my petition, I did not even include evidence to show that I belong to professional society. My evidence, main evidence were just recommendation letter, cover letter, and evidence to show that I've given presentation in peer review conferences, maybe like 3 or 4. Those were the maybe was approved.
But do you also think like the field you are also matters? Like if you're an engineer, they would maybe you're required a higher standard. I don't want to say that because this is a public meeting, but I feel like if you're in other fields, they're even glad somebody's specializing in that field rather than not.
So I think some field it's more easier to argue your case. For example, if you're a lawyer, so I was having this conversation with my brother-in-law because he's a lawyer. It's very difficult because obviously you can't really talk about the cases you have worked on. Or if you work with any company, you can't talk about it. So that makes it challenging to write the advance in proposed endeavor to show things that I have worked on. Okay. But there are still ways that people go about it to still write to still argue their case.
Okay, we're coming to the end of this meeting. We thank you all for being so patient. I'm going to run through the agenda again and make sure we did not miss anything. Again, thank you all for coming. Bobola made his presentation and he talked elaborately on what this whole thing is about and told us how we can apply successfully. I also shared my green card story, and we've had series of questions we've tried to address. We also promised to hold a YouTube session where we can address some of those questions that Bobola must have downloaded by now. We have shared our contact information. Please contact us at Radiant Stone. We are here to help you and hold your hand through your green card application. And again, thank you all for joining and have a good weekend. Bye. Mam Nenga, she had a follow-up question. Mam Nenga Bande, you can just go on and ask if you still want to wait behind, but I wanted us to be on time and it was already 1:34. That's why I ended the session. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, my question was for you because I'm also in the agri sector, so I just wanted to confirm from you. You said you have an agri background and that was what you used. So I wanted to know
what my background is.
Yes, like because
my background is very heavy.
Oh,
it's very, very heavy. Okay, so I'm just kidding. I got my bachelor's in agronomy in Nigeria. So I went to University of Ibadan, the first and the best. But I don't know if that counts. But so I've been trying to show how exceptional I am since bachelor's. Graduating as best agronomy student. All those cool stuff. Then I did a master's also in Nigeria, UI, also in the same agronomy. So as you can tell in agronomy, because you have a Greek background, it's purely research agronomy. My agronomy is purely field research. So I've done a lot of field research. I've done a lot of attachments with really important organizations like IITA. Then I came to the US and started a PhD in plant pathology. So my awards were international. Like I have award, like African Women in Agricultural Research and Development. I had those awards I used to make my case. So that's my background.